We're now live.
Thank you, and welcome members of the Point of the Mountain State Land Authority Board. Appreciate you being here and timely, and members of the public that have joined us, thank you, and our panelists who have joined us, welcome as well. My name is Lowry Snow, Representative Snow. I'm one of the co-chairs. The other co-chair is Governor-elect Spencer Cox, and he's asked to be excused, as heavily now involved in the transition, preparing to take the reins as governor. So we'll excuse him, but also tell him he's been very supportive, and we tell him thank you for that. He's kept an eye on what we're doing and has weighed in from time to time with us, and we appreciate his service. So with that, we will call the meeting officially to order. As in previous meetings, law requires me to read a brief statement that allows us to conduct the meeting virtually. So all of you can relax just a minute and I'll read this into the record. This is the meeting determination for the Point of the Mountain Land Authority Board. I, Lowry Snow, co-chairman of the Point of the Mountain Land Authority Board, have determined that the December 17th, 2020 meeting of the board will be held electronically without an anchor location. This determination is based on the following facts. First, one, Utah is currently dealing with COVID-19, which has been determined to be a pandemic. COVID-19 is extremely contagious and can be deadly to those who contract it, especially those of advanced age and underlying health conditions. Number two, the agency offices in Salt Lake County are currently in the state's high-risk category. This limits the size of public gatherings to individuals within your own household and requires the wearing of masks and social distancing in public places. People are encouraged to stay in their homes. Number three, a vast majority of agency staff and the members of the board are teleworking to avoid unnecessary contact with others. Number four, the boardroom is insufficient to allow social distancing and reasonably safe accommodations of the board and the public. Number five, the board uses an electronic platform which allows interested parties to view the meeting, hear discussions, and provide written content. That statement I signed on the 10th day of December 2020 over my signature, as I said. So with that, we will move into the major significant portion of our meeting. We're not going to undertake approving any minutes today. We'll begin with item number 2, which, as I said, is really the meat of the meeting, and it is truly that. It is a significant undertaking that we have on our agenda today. As way of background for the board and perhaps those who may be listening, the purpose of our meeting today is to formally select the planning team that will create the framework for our master plan for the point. We anticipate that being accomplished during the first half of 2021. This is an incredibly important decision with significant implications. And I know I've said before that certain things we do are really the most important. I can't say this is the most important, but it is clearly significant because it begins to lay more of a framework and more detail to the planning of the Point project. We have been seeking a team that has outstanding technical skills, is forward-thinking, recognizes the importance of efficiency and appropriate use of public funds, and also, like us, is involved with the public input, who has reviewed the input from the public and will attempt to, and has attempted to incorporate that in their proposals. This meeting today concludes the end of a really rigorous 3-month process. We've been working on this since September, and I think, Alan, we've had responses from 12 world-class firms. These are what we would consider to be the very top tier planning firms. We've had help from our selection committee, and those of you who have been involved with that, we extend our our thanks and our appreciation for your time. It has been incredibly rigorous and has taken a lot of time. But as a result of that committee's review, they've narrowed that field to 3 finalists. ACOM is one, Perkins and Will is the other one, and SOM. These finalists have gone through an incredibly intense design competition that they have submitted, and the plans and their proposals have been fantastic. They've taken the process very seriously, and I think, as Alan has communicated to me, without exception, high degree of enthusiasm for what we're trying to accomplish here. They all wanted to be a part of what we're doing. We thank them all for their participation and for their product, because it's been excellent. So now we're at that process where we need to make a final selection. And in order to do that, the law allows us to go into executive session to accomplish that, pursuant to Utah Code 524205. In order to go into executive session, it requires a motion and a 2/3 vote. So without spending any more time on an introduction, as chair, I'd entertain a motion to move into executive session. It'll take a second, and then, as I said, 2/3 concurrence.
So moved, Chair Snell.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Representative moving and Val seconding. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any hands and no one speaking up. We'll place it for a vote. All in favor of the motion that we move pursuant to law into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That meets the statutory requirement of 2/3. So with that, we will move into executive session. And if you will recall, CC has provided us a separate link. So virtually, we move into, you might say, a different room via the link, and we'll take up the executive session there. So we'll see you over there.
You guys are quick.
You might want to mute your mics. All right, do we have everyone back?
Session 2 of the Ponce session.
Oh, we need the Mayor Walker. I'm trying to see who else are we missing? Anyone?
Looks like Mayor Walker and April Cooper.
Okay. Muriel or someone, can you text them or call and see if we can help them come back, join us?
Yeah, they've been texting with me. They're working on getting in now.
Okay, thank you.
I can send them a link again if they need to have it.
Probably worth it. I just sent it to April, but may not hurt to get it from another source too.
Hi,
Okay.
it's April. I'm on by phone. For some reason, this particular Zoom link won't let me in. It keeps saying my email's not registered, but I was able to go in the executives, but I can't go in this one. So I'm just
Okay.
on my phone.
Okay, we have April. Who else were we missing?
Mayor Walker, are you here?
Not yet.
I'll send them the link again.
He just sent me a text saying he can't get in the meeting.
Okay, I just sent him the Google Doc that has his personal link to it.
He tells me where he's voting, what he's voting on, but I'll tell you what, maybe I can get him and utilize my speakerphone.
I think I see him on the screen now.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if he's showing that.
Yep,
He's
there
under.
he is.
Okay.
Okay. Mayor Walker, are you able to hear us? Mayor Walker, you may need to unmute your mic. Okay,
Yes, I can hear you now.
okay. Now I think we have everyone.
A joyous linking process it was.
Thank you. And Muriel, please, would you verify we're back in on public feed?
We're live on YouTube now.
Okay, thank you. The chair, or I would entertain a motion to come out of executive session, please, someone.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Jim, making the motion, we come out. Do I have a second on that motion?
Troy Walker on the second.
Mayor Walker on the second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? We are back in open session. The motion passes. So now, after spending, I'm guessing about an hour in executive session, we're ready to go back to the agenda, which is to take action under number two, item number 2, to select the planning team after that robust discussion. So as a chair, I would be interested in allowing any member of the board to make a comment. And I don't want to cut the process off, but the chair would also entertain a motion. So either at this point, either a general comment or a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would be ready to make a motion if nobody else has got comments.
Okay, Jim Russell, a motion is in order.
Okay, I would make a motion that we accept the recommendations of the committee in the order that they scored them, with SOM number 1, AECOM number 2, and Perkins and Will number 3, and undertake contract negotiations in that fashion as per the RFP, and that no additional funds would be given to any of the firms to meet the scope that was outlined in the RFP. And as per the RFP, if the one firm does not meet the scope, then we go to the second, and so forth.
That's your motion, is that we accept the proposals in the order that they were graded?
Yes,
And that we not add any additional compensation beyond that was included in their proposals. Is that your motion?
yes,
And that we begin negotiation with the first and work in descending order if we're unsuccessful in those negotiations. That's part of your motion?
yes.
Do I have a second to the motion?
This is Dave. I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's been moved and seconded. So the matter now is on the table. The motion is on the table for discussion. But before I turn it over for general discussion, I'd like to go back to the maker of the motion, Jim, and allow you, if you want to speak to the motion, speak in support of it if you'd like to.
Sure. I think a lot of the concern is around the scope and the cost. I know the recommendation from the committee, I think, should be respected. They went through a lot of effort and so forth, and the RFP was clear on the process. And I think that both are great firms. And as long as they will adhere to the scope, I think that SOM will provide the greatest value.
Thank you. Further discussion to the motion. Comments to be made either in support or against?
It's Mayor Walker. I just want to thank the committee that spent the massive amount of time and energy looking through it, and all your expertise lent to that process. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you, Mayor. Further discussion to the motion.
This is Val Hale. I too want to thank the committee that reviewed this and did all of the due diligence. From what we understand, it was a tremendous effort, a lot of work, and I just want to thank them.
Thank you, Val. Further comment or discussion to the motion that's on the table?
this is Dawn Ramsey. If I can just add to that, in addition to my gratitude to the committee, as has been said, I echo that absolutely. I appreciate the firms that applied for this. This is firms put a lot of work and a lot of time into applying and expressing their interest in being part of this project, and I appreciate all those who did, and look forward to making a final decision and moving forward in a way that we feel is best for this project in the state of Utah. Thank you for everyone who had a hand in helping us reach this point.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. Further discussion to the motion that's before us.
This is April. I just wanted to say thanks to all the firms. Again, we started out with quite a few, and in the final presentation, we had 3 really great firms. So appreciate the efforts of those firms too, because what we end up with here at this location, there's a lot of people sitting here in this board meeting, and a lot of people that do the extra working group meetings, but now we've got some other firms that are starting to come in also. So I really want to thank everybody, because I think it was a big effort, and I support Jim's motion.
Thank you, April, for your comments. Further discussion from the board members to the motion, from any board member. All right, not having any more discussion, I think it's proper typically that we come back to the maker of the motion for summation if you would like to say anything further, or you can waive summation.
Waive.
Waiving summation. The matter now, I think, is the motion is now properly before us for a vote. We'll call for a voice vote. All in favor of the motion that that we accept the proposals, the recommendations of the selection committee in the order as they were graded, with SOM being in the first position, AECOM in a second position, and Perkins and Will in a third position, and that we negotiate with the begin negotiations with SOM. If we reach a contract with them, they would be our planner, and if not, then we move to the next proposal, and that we not add any further compensation than the amounts that were contained in each of their proposals. Call now for a vote on that motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, please? Not hearing any opposed, I'll rule that the motion carries unanimously. And with that, we will ask our director to work with Mr. Russell's office, Jim's office, and also our legal counsel to move forward in the next phase, working in that order outlined in the motion. So there's just really one other item on the agenda. That's number 3. We have on all of our agendas time for public comment, subject to the rules that we've laid out. If there is a member of the public who is listening and has met the requirements, if you would speak up, we'll give you time to address us at least within the 3-minute period allowed. Do I hear any member of the public that would like to comment? Not hearing anyone, I'm going to assume that there is no further comment. Before I take a motion to adjourn, let me just say again, thank you for everyone that has participated in this process. This has been rigorous and in many ways strenuous, and has required a lot of time and attention. And April, you said a couple of times that we had great proposals from a number of great firms. The sifting process takes some time, but I feel really good about it. And I can't tell you how good I felt about the discussion that we had in executive session. It was solid and really helpful. Thank you, members of the board. Thank you, consultants, for being here and helping. And members of the public, if you have joined into any part of the discussion, thank you for your interest and your engagement. And Chair's prerogative, let me wish everyone a Merry Christmas and really a wonderful new year. I'm so looking forward with great optimism to 2021, and I hope you are too. Thank you for your service. The Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mayor Walker. It's moved and seconded by,
I'll second.
thank you, April. By April, all in favor say aye.
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 Good night. We stand adjourned.